So after the firing, we end up with a riser and a piece that needs to be separated because the glaze has gone down and attached somewhat to that riser. I'm going to show you what I do in general when I separate a piece as a first shot. The first shot is to see if it'll separate by just tapping it. Okay. If it goes any more than 5 or 6 taps, I stop because I'm afraid that I'm going to break the bottom of the piece. So there's the piece that I will just take out in a little while and we'll show you. I'm going to grind the bottom and finish the piece. So that's one method. The other method is when you can't get it to tap off, what I do is I will take and put it on top of a turntable, and you got to be careful. I have a torch that I use, and although I've never had anything burn me, just wear a left glove just in case, because you're going to be heating it. On the bottom riser, try not to touch the piece. So here's how that works. You're going to listen for a little tink, and that's going to probably mean that they've separated. I usually go around a couple of times, even more, listening for those little pops, meaning that the glaze is separating from the riser. Then, carefully, tap it, and it's ready to be ground. In this case, it actually took a little tiny bit off of that cup, which is okay because I'll grind the foot down. And let me show you what we do in case you're sure that it's going to do that, and you're never really sure, is I will take, let me take one of these. Oh, that one's, hold on, here we go. So let's just say I see one that looks like, oh my gosh, that's so glazed, and maybe during the firing, actually, a piece can get a little glaze underneath it and it can shift, it can actually move a little bit, in which case, you're going to have to do something like this. That is I have a little Fordham, you can use a Dremel, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put little grind marks all along the bottom. It's similar to when you cut glass. You put that little scratch in the glass, it relieves the tension between the two pieces, and it cracks in that spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to make that little line in this glass, which is glaze, and we'll see how that works. And I always wear a mask, but in this case I'm holding my breath because I need to talk. I have a foot control so I can control the speed. And all I'm putting is a little dotted line or dashed line with this diamond bit along the bottom. About 90% of my pieces I can just tap off the bottom. 5% of them will be harder and I'll need to heat them. And another 5% I need to grind it because I don't want to lose the bottom of the piece. So now that I've ground that, I'm going to take and heat this. Definitely need glasses. remember, you're heating just the riser, not the piece. And then, carefully, voila. Okay, remember, this remains really hot, as this is, so be careful. All I need to do now is take this over to my grinder, and we'll grind it clean.